Heyo, welcome into the CHGO White Sox postgame show presented by PointsBet. Use promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. The White Sox lose another one. They fall to 22-23 on the season. They lose this one 5-1. Welcome into the CHGO offices. We are in Studio B. If you missed the CHGO White Sox Cubs pregame show for the Crosstown Showdown, we had a little bet with our CHGO Cubs crew. The winner got Studio A, now dubbed Studio W, and we got Studio B, now dubbed as Club L. So here we are, Herb, in the Lost Club.
Very, very disappointing. That game was so embarrassing. I mean, it's not just losing the Cubs. The Cubs are a mediocre team to a bad team. The White Sox look disinterested today. Just disinterested. Keegan Thompson's all right. It wasn't that to hold you to 5 hits and 1 run. Golly, every single game is a chore, like literally a chore to get through it. I think I fell asleep a couple times during the game.
Did you really?
Literally. It's my
Who was
job
sitting next to you? I didn't even
it.
see you.
No one was sitting next to me. I was in the corner over there.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, Herb. I was like 2 feet away from you.
Yeah, I woke up really quickly. I was like, oh, shit, I got to do my job.
That's Herb Lawrence. Apparently, he's falling asleep during White Sox games. You can follow him on Twitter at EctorWall23. He is the CHGO White Sox community leader. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. You can follow the show on Twitter at CHGO_White Sox. We already got Lil Yumper hanging out in the chat, and he says, Sean, you got to give it to Keegan Thompson. Sean, got to give it to Keegan Thompson. Didn't have to... didn't have a lot of it pitched enough to keep the team in the game. He was fantastic today. I mean,
fantastic is a little tough.
Gave up 1 run. So
yeah. I mean, the results are great. I thought he was hanging a couple balls. He threw a couple balls right down the middle, and the White Sox hitters, especially Yasmani Grandal, are taking these pitches for some reason. Like, what are you looking for on a 1-1 count? Fastball down middle, he was giving you 2 in a row. And then he eventually, in the Efros at bat, I think I'm specifically talking about, he took 2 fastballs in the middle, then struck out on a curveball right in the zone. The whole team, except for our 8 and 9 hitters, pretty much took the night off. And Hose did all right. And then Yasmani got 2 walks. But when you got a shitty lineup to start off with, and goddamn Josh Harrison batting second, it's real tough. Yeah. Real tough to score some runs, apparently, against Keegan Thompson and Scott F. Ross.
There's this
Ross
thing on the StatCast box score where they show you the hard hits, Herb, and you can just see this for the White Sox. You see 2 hard hits next to Tim Anderson's name, and then none for Josh Harrison, none for Andrew Vaughn, none for Jose Abreu, none for Yasmani Grandal, none for A.J. Pollock, none for Gavin Sheets, Jake Berger, Adam Engel. 2 hard hits. So basically, and I told you this before we went live, you basically could have had 3 position players out there for the White Sox. You could have had Tim Anderson, Jake Berger, and Adam Engel, and they still would have scored 1 run only. You got nothing from 2 through 7. And that's why I guess I said, Keegan Thompson pitched a fantastic game because 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 Ks, 1 walk. It's fantastic in my mind.
Thank you, Lil Yumper. A super chat, $4.99. Sorry for the horrible message. Fat fingers. I understand, you little Yumper.
I always type quick, so if you always want to retype it again, I'll feel free to read your message. But thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it. And shout out to Little Yump and Svo. They got a movie podcast going on. I'm guessing they probably recap Top Gun 2. So if you're looking for something, anything else, Little Yumper and Svo got that.
All the reviews I've seen are all positive about Maverick. Like, I'm not going to go and see it because I hate sequels, especially like 30 years apart sequels, because I went to see that Coming to America 2 bullshit. But it's been positive for Maverick. And yes, go out to Svo and Lil Yumper's podcast and check them out. Give them some support too.
Did you know the big song for that movie, Lady Gaga? She took 2 years to write that song.
Lady
Gaga, 2 years. 2 years to write a damn song. For Top Gun, too.
Was it Take My Breath Away? Just sing that again.
No, but she would have killed it if she did. If she wrote a completely new song. It took her 2 years, Herb. Crazy stuff. And there is one thing, Mr. C is saying, oh, injuries, save it, please. There wasn't an injury in this game from what we know of, but there was in the Charlotte game, the Durham game that happened today. They were down in Durham, the Charlotte Knights versus the Durham Bulls. In the second inning, I believe it was, Eloy Jimenez making his debut in a rehab assignment, shoots a line drive into right field opposite way, and immediately pulls up on his hamstring, came out of the game. So Eloy Jimenez returned to action tonight and left action tonight.
Grand opening, grand closing for Eloy Jimenez. Tom Jankowski asks, Herb, if you're the GM, what's to do first? I know I can't fire the manager, but I'm letting my displeasure out there. I'm scheduling a press conference.
What would you actually do?
That's literally what if I have actual autonomy.
You have full. So let's say you are the White Sox GM,
yes,
and you are the actual GM of a well-run baseball team. You have the ability to fire and hire whoever you want. This isn't the real White Sox where we have a little major league team where it's all run through the owner, right? No, none of that stuff. You have an actual. You have actual control over the team. What was your first move?
I'm firing Tony La Russa. This was my first move. Literal first move. Then I'm DFAing Josh Harrison. Then I'm finding somebody who can play second at a consistent basis. I'm calling up one of those youngsters, either Sosa or I'm calling up Sanchez. I got to get something different. I can't continue doing the same thing. I can't have the same leader out there showing our team that it's not good. Like what his actions are today. This whole game showed you what's been wrong with the White Sox. They didn't score. They made an error. Joe McEwing, who also would be off a third. I don't know if I'm firing him, but he would be not my third base coach anymore. That's the 9th time the White Sox have been thrown out at home, and it's Yasmani Grandal. Folks, when I say this, I'm not saying this hyperbolically. I'm not saying this braggadociously. I literally can beat Yasmani Grandal. You got people who are watching on YouTube. You see how big I am. I'm about 290. I literally could beat Yasmani Grandal in a 100-yard race. Set it up whenever you guys want to. Do not send Yasmani Grandal home ever unless it's a double and he's at third. That's the only time he's
even then I think about it.
Yeah, that's the only time
you could have a bases clearing home run inside the park home run, and I would still be second guessing sending him home from third base.
Like these are every one of you who are watching and listening knew that Yasmani was going to get thrown out, and he got thrown out by 10 plus feet. It was dumb. So you had that. You had that Toot Bland. Then you have Tony La Russa sleeping. Like we were like, man, 6 innings, 3 earned runs or less for my man Johnny Cueto, smooth. Cool, you could start the 7th inning. You only had 79 pitches. I was fine with him starting the 7th inning. But then you see hard hit balls. Okay, 2nd and 3rd, what's going? Okay, where's Tony at? Oh, okay, we're sending Ethan Katz out. Oh man, god damn it. We got people warming up. We got Benasusa warming up. We got Matt Foster. Tony is out there sleeping and allows that man to give up more runs, messes up his quality start. And a game that even after he gave up the 4th run, Sean's like, hey, he still did a good job. And overall, he did a pretty good job. But then you look at the box score, 5 earned runs because the manager fell asleep. Just fell asleep.
I mean, to be honest with you, like I'm not too upset at the fact that he left Cueto in for a 7th inning, and the fact that Cueto ends up giving 5 earned runs. It's not on Cueto. Cueto pitched you 6 innings, gave you 3 earned runs. That's fine. And honestly, I understand people thinking that might be him giving the game away, or whatever, leaving Cueto to go out there and give up 2 more runs and make it a 5-1 game. But the issue has been this entire year hitting. You need to be able to hit, and this is another game, another pathetic output from the White Sox where you just don't hit. And Jack R., a Cubs fan who's always in our CHGO bet shows, he's always in the Cubs shows, he's over here, rubbing it in our face for the little crosstown stuff.
Enjoy yourself.
He said Sox fans really overreact. And honestly, I don't know if I'm overreacting at this point.
We're underreacting.
I honestly think we might have been underreacting for the first 44 games. Because, yes, this team has the easiest schedule from here to the end of the season. Yes, they will get Luis Robert back. They will get Eloy Jimenez back. They will get Lance Lynn back. All of those things are true. But we have not seen a single adjustment from this team. 24 balls in play again from this team. You are not seeing any patience from this team. You are not seeing a good approach from this team. You are seeing another game with 3 less walks. I mean, it's just brutal. It is not a team with a true plate approach out there. I think that stems from Tony. It stems from Frank Minichino. It stems from the players. It stems from Rick Hahn. It stems from everybody. This organization stinks right now. I'm not overreacting. You're 22-23 in the worst division in baseball. You have a
to them too.
Negative run differential well under 30. You can't score a run to save your life.
Let me ask you this. I used to believe maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe even earlier this week, that this is a underachieving team that will break out of it eventually. Now I'm here. I just think they're a bad team. They make a bunch of errors. They don't walk. They don't come up with timely hits. The manager's shit. Like, this is like I'm resigned now to say this is a bad team. Well, it's early, Hermie. I only played 45 games. What more do you need to see? As my guy Common, local rap superstar, says, it don't take a whole day to recognize sunshine. Like, we understand that this team is bad. Like, they're bad. They're not just an underperforming team. This is them. Maybe this is them. What do you think, Sean? I'm just frustrated with them. And maybe I shouldn't, because maybe this is what they are.
I talked to our guy, Mark Rohde, today. He had me on the score. It was very nice of him. Was on the score with Mark Rohde, and we're kind of talking about this thing. And it was like, when do you expect this thing to kind of jump for the White Sox? And right now, I told him, you got to win 2 against the Cubs to at least help this fan base feel a little bit decent, get a little bit of breathing room away from 500. But you fall under 500 again, and I understand that, again, I've said this, for a while now, just because it's been true for, I think, the past week. The White Sox have the easiest schedule to the end of the season. But you got Toronto. You got 3 games against Toronto this week.
Christ.
You got 3 games against Tampa Bay. Fuck. You got Houston in the middle of the week. You got San Francisco at the start of July. This might not get easy until July. This might not get easy until you see Minnesota on July 5th. That's a concern, because you still got a whole nother month of bad baseball to play before this schedule gets easy, because that's apparently what this White Sox team needs, is easy opponents to beat up, because they can't beat any good opponents. I mean, that's all I'm learning from right now, is either this team is pressing and has no ability to give themselves any relief from that tension in any way, or they stink.
Yep.
I mean,
and Sheba Doge puts in, we play the Dodgers too.
And you play the Dodgers.
Yeah, the White Sox play versus probably the toughest. The White Sox and the rest of the AL Central play versus the toughest division out there. It's the NL West, with the Dodgers, the Giants, as Sean said, the Padres at the end of the year, the Rockies, and the Diamondbacks, who usually are supposed to be bad. This year, not playing too tough.
And Edgar says here, the Blue Jays are not playing their best, but still. Blue Jays aren't playing their best, but still. They have 2 righties going up against the White Sox in that series. They're fucked. I'm sorry. You have Kevin Gausman and Alex Manoah. 2 guys. One, Alex Manoah, who has one of the best sliders in the MLB. That's 10 Ks right there. And Kevin Gausman, who struck out 41 batters and walked 0 guys to start off this season. This is a guy that is going to throw it in the zone, make you have untimely hits, and you're going to miss bats left and right. He's going to eat up those White Sox bats.
I think he still has the highest F4 for pitchers right now. And
he's been great.
He's like clear of the next guy. You think how great Michael Kopech has pitched, and Dylan Cease and Giolito. This guy has been better this year, and we're gonna face him on Tuesday versus Lucas Giolito. Yeah.
I saw a comment in there from our guy Sam Davis saying, with our 46th unique lineup, and that's something that I've seen, and I kind of want to get into this discussion with you, Herb, is, we've been talking about the changing lineups. 153 last year for the White Sox in 162 games. So far, they've had a unique lineup in all 45 games. Something I've always said, something you've always said, I'm pretty sure Chris Tannehill always said it, managers don't matter, but you're saying your first move would be to fire Tony La Russa. I do want to go into some of the stats behind them having unique lineups. So this is Tony's tinkering here. Since 2021, when he took over as the White Sox lineup, The Arizona Diamondbacks lead the major leagues in unique lineups. They have a unique lineup 97.1% of the time. Tampa Bay Rays also have a unique lineup 97.1% of the time, so they lead the MLB at 1-2. The White Sox are third at 95.6% of the time, having a unique lineup. Detroit also 95.6. I said that was funny just because A.J. Hinch was also hired in 2021, and people wanted A.J. Hinch as the White Sox manager. Me. I wanted A.J. Hinch as the White Sox manager, so it's at least funny seeing the complaints of White Sox fans and Detroit Tiger fans maybe line up, both having uniqueness of the lineups. But it is at least true. I mean, Tony La Russa has one of the most unique lineups every single day. I mean, that's kind of a thing that about Tony that he does is uniqueness, switching it up. I don't think it's that big of an issue. I know some fans do. You're obviously wanting to fire him.
Yes.
What's your thinking about that?
Like, you saw that list. There was like 2 teams in there who are like playoff caliber teams.
Yeah.
The White Sox are part of it. And of course the Tampa Bay Rays, who are right above the White Sox. And you could put the Oakland A's, but they're not anymore part of it. The Oakland A's are not a playoff team. They're one of the worst. They're trying to dive off and be bad again. So in a couple of years, they'll be good again. You don't want to be part of that company. You don't want to be part of teams that are just changing lineups every day. And they're probably changing lineups because they don't have stars. They just have interchangeable guys on the squad. So, if Arizona, you have Ketel Marte, who's going to start most of the games. Right. But then you're just changing guys, different guys. Pavin Smith will start this next day, and then Alec Thomas will start the next day somewhere else. And so, yes, that makes sense. They're a rebuilding team. The White Sox, for the most part, should not be rebuilding, should not be sending out different people in different spots. As we say all the time, these players are creatures of habit. They want to know where they're going to be batting. Like, you had A.J. Pollock batting second a couple days ago. Yeah. Then he was batting third, and now today he was batting sixth. Mm-hmm. Like, when is it going to happen? When is he going to be like, okay, I am the seventh hitter?
Right. And
Or same thing with Andrew Vaughn. I'm batting ninth, then I'm batting eighth. Now I'm the second hitter? Okay.
And here's from Jesus Shuttlesworth. Most players don't like moving around in the lineup every day. That's what A.J. Przinsky was talking about, I think, in like the 7th or 8th inning, that, it's something about going to the ballpark and knowing where you're going to be each and every day. Someone also asked, has Tony always done this? Yes. In 2011, the last time he won a World Series, 155 unique lineups when including the pitchers, 126 when not including the pitchers. So obviously the NL is a little bit different. You only have 8 spots to work with compared to 9 that we're always changing with the pitcher. But he's basically always done this. And something that he always used to do too was bat the pitcher at the 8th spot. Most NL managers would bat him at the 9th spot. This is from a 2010 article from Tyler Kepner. A few other managers have adopted La Russa's strategy of batting the pitcher 8th and having a position player bat 9th, which he used in 1999 and 1998 and resumed extensively in 2007. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, since the start of the 2007 season, La Russa has batted the pitcher 8th in 312 games. Other managers have been nowhere close. John Russell 50 times, Ned Yost 42, Ken Macha 12. So Tony La Russa was doing something 312 times when other managers were doing them 50, 42, 12, 8, 3. He loves to be unique. He loves to be different. It's part of his whole shtick. And this is the thing that I didn't really love when the hire was made. It's old school baseball. It's old school thinking. It's garbage crap. It's garbage crap is what he puts out every single day. Consistency would be great for this lineup. Making sure that you have Jose Abreu batting third, Andrew Vaughn batting second, or Luis Robert batting second when he's healthy. That would absolutely help this team. And the other thing too, Herb, is just like, it's with the Josh Harrison thing. Like, oh, I believe in this guy. He's had some good at bats. Let's move him up to second. Oh, Leary, we need to get him some confidence. Let's have him bat second and third. Oh, Andrew Vaughn, he's guaranteed the second spot, and then we're going to move him down to 9. It's all about feeling. It's all about, like, there's no actual, this is what's been happening. Yep. This is what we need to happen. This is the direction we need to go. It's all just based on a feeling. And do you know what, Tony? I don't think you got any feeling anymore about baseball. You're away from the game for 10 fucking years. And this team was the same amount of good in 2020 with Rick Renteria. They had the same winning percentage as Tony La Russa did in 2021. And it was a longer season. They had more injuries. That's part of the reason why they had 153 unique lineups last year. But it just feels old school. It just feels all based off of feeling. Where with the Rays, another playoff team on that list where they've changed 97 times, it's because they're putting in guys based off of swing planes. Like, oh, this guy has a better swing plane versus sinkers compared to this guy who has a better swing plane compared to cutters. Yeah. Like that is what real baseball teams do. Tony's like, Josh Harrison's a veteran. He gives us good bats at bats every other day. We'll put him up to 2.
There's no reason to put him up there. There's absolutely zero reason. I said in the pregame, like, did you put him up there because he's a supposed fast black middle infielder? So those guys go up in the second spot? I don't know, because that's the only thing. Like, he's thinking old school. He's got fucking Willie McGee on his team or some shit, or Vince Coleman. It's not the same. That guy can't hit. He's on the interstate. He's hitting 1-something. Garbage. He hasn't hit the whole year. And hit a home run since what? August of last year?
August 16th, 2021.
So what are we doing? Why are we doing this thing where Josh Harrison hits anywhere, firstly, and then secondly, second in the lineup? We've done this with Lurie Garcia. This is frustrating. And what you said about Ricky Renteria, does anybody out there, either watching on YouTube or listening on our podcast, believe the White Sox would be in a worse spot with Ricky Renteria? No, they fired him because he didn't do analytics enough. Him and good old Coop. What's going on? And I know the owner hired this guy. It doesn't preclude the general manager coming out and saying something. Yes, you disagree with him. Maybe it's something else changes. You all the time I hear from Rick Hahn or anybody else, it's always, we're doing great. We got plenty of time to play. 135 games left or 120 games left. Plenty of time. No, come out and you see it, Rick. Everybody sees it. Somebody's got to come out and say something. Even if you think that you're going to get fired, say something. This is your thing, Rick. You're going to go down with the fire yourself. I'm going to blame you with that bad offseason. And this team can't hit. And then your manager puts a guy who can't hit to get the second most at bats on your team. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you? Logical? No. Our best hitters today were our 8 and 9 hitters. Our rookie third baseman. Our rookie third baseman hit a home run and went 3 for 4 today in Jake Berger.
And Adam Engel had 2 hard hit balls and robbed a home run.
Yeah, exactly. Adam Engel. Like, these guys are not supposed to be on this team.
Enjoy the ride.
Not starters.
Enjoy the ride.
So,
enjoy the ride. So, enjoy the ride.
Just terrible. Just absolutely horrible. This is a bad team. I am not going to sugarcoat anymore. I've seen enough.
Well, and
this is a bad team.
You go back to it and you talk about Rick Renteria not being analytical enough, and let's look at the actual pitching staff. It's Rick Renteria, it's Frank Menechino, and it's Ethan Katz. Or not even, sorry, Frank Menechino, Don Cooper, Rick Renteria, right? They get rid of Rick Renteria, they get rid of Don Cooper, okay? They replace it with Tony La Russa and Ethan Katz. The pitching's been fantastic this year. Pitching's been fantastic last year. Hitting struggled in 2021. Hitting struggled in 2022. Just saying. There was not a change in that hitting philosophy in this organization. There was not a change in the hitting coach at that time. There was a change in the pitching coach at that time, and Ethan Katz has worked wonders, worked magic. Frank Menechino hasn't done that yet. Tony La Russa hasn't done that yet. And I know people love Tony's ability to help the team last year with injuries. There's no injuries with this team at all. Like, I mean, for the most, I guess, you have Eloy and Luis right now, but I mean, Eloy was out for most of last year too, and they were fine. Yeah, with worse talent, arguably. I mean, they were doing that with Brian Goodwin
and Billy Hamilton was out too last year for a good chunk of the time. It's just so frustrating. Like, I don't know if they watched the same series we watched versus the Astros. We were outclassed in that one. We couldn't hit. Astros were crushing us with our pitching. Our pitchers, as you said, have been outstanding, especially the starters. And Ethan Katz has been nothing more than spectacular. Look what he's done for Carlos Rodon. That man is back on track. Dylan Cease he had a bad game in Cincinnati and one in St. Louis, but he's actually still good. Yes. But look what he's done for Dylan Cease. The core velocity belt, all the stuff that he's changed with Dylan Cease. He's taken him from a guy who could just throw hard and give you good outings to one of the best pitchers in the American League this year. Michael Kopech got the second best ERA if he qualifies right now. we're just doing good things with the pitching staff, and you're wasting it. Look, Giolito, I don't need to tell you how good he is. We're just wasting all this good effort from the pitching staff because we can't hit. We don't do timely hits. We don't do any hits. We're not hitting the ball out of the ballpark except for our rookie third baseman who's got sitting down, and both Sean and I looked at each other like, yeah, we thought at the time when he got sent down it should have been Sheets. The only reason he stayed was because he has a lefty bat and he can play right field. And I put those in quotes. So, yes, this has been wildly frustrating for this team not to recognize their problems they had last year and fixing them and now continue on this season through 45 games. It's just...
The best way to support CHGO is to download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. If you do that right now, you get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Bets on it and make a $50 or more first-time deposit. You receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content, and you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from a CHGO locker. That's $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free t-shirt from CHGO locker, all for making more than a $50 first-time deposit at PointsBet. You'll want a free CHGO membership because our members get access to premium written content. We have a fantastic beat writer, Vinnie Duber, on our CHGO White Sox beat. So if you are looking for game recaps, maybe some quotes from Rick Hahn, maybe some quotes from Tony La Russa coming out of the clubhouse, Vinnie has you covered on the CHGO White Sox beat. So if you make a $50 deposit, your first-time deposit with PointsBet and use code CHGO, you'll get a free CHGO membership and a free t-shirt from CHGO locker, all for making more than a $50 first-time deposit at PointsBet. If you have questions, you can email pointsbet@allchgo.com and we will help you out. Online sign-up is available in Illinois. You can download the PointsBet app right now and register your account from start to finish, all from your phone. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with bets. Live your bet life with bets life. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Let's go. My disease over there.
What's that?
I'm giving you my disease over there.
Let's go out to Guaranteed Rate Field to talk to our great CHGO White Sox beat writer. It's Vinnie Duber. You can follow him on Twitter at Vinnie Duber. How's it going, Vinnie?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Oh, we're great. We're real peachy and just super, super optimistic tonight.
Wow. It's getting to the point where I need to treat you guys like I do Tony La Russa and just not ask that question anymore.
Yes. And honestly, if it's a win, we're probably in a good mood. If it's a loss, we're probably in a bad mood. I'm guessing you talked to Tony. How was he tonight?
Didn't seem very happy, did he?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, this was, I am hesitant to use the term that I believe Herb tweeted out at one point, embarrassing, but the guys can't hit. And when they do hit, they can't score. That's really what's happening right now. I mean, the pitching is fine, as everybody knows. This offense is not getting the job done. And it's got a few guys, 3 or 4 guys maybe, that, are coming to play on a daily basis, and everybody else coming to play, but not really getting anything close to the results that they're looking for. So this has been the story the first 2 months. It was the story tonight. It is going to keep being the story until it isn't.
I know Joe is a good third base coach, but this year he's having some struggles. Joe McEwing. Is there any explanation from Tony or anything? Did they even talk about it? Because Yasmani Grandal is not fast. That ball wasn't hit slowly. So he was out by 10 feet. Did Tony speak about, I don't know, he's going to call out his man as third base coach. Did he talk about Yasmani getting thrown out at home and Joe's struggling this year?
He did. You're not going to like the answer. He said you got to send him. He said he had no problem with it. When you're not scoring any runs, you got to force the issue. I think anybody else running from second base, sure. Yasmani Grandal has proven that he is not fleet of foot. Listen, when he's clicking on all cylinders, he's good at a lot of different things. I don't think he's ever going to be good at sprint speed. So, that's a tough send because of who it was, right? And I think situationally with any, like I said, any other runner on the team, maybe.
I'll go with him. Yeah.
But this is Yaz, and Yaz is not fast.
Sorry, I knocked over my water bottle. How long are we into this podcast? 29 minutes? Okay, we're 29 minutes into this podcast, and we haven't talked about the Yasmani Grandal being thrown out at home too often. There's 414 baseball players in Major League Baseball. He is the 413th slowest baseball player. He is
who's slower?
Martin Maldonado, so another catcher.
Wow.
He is 2 feet and 2 feet per second slower than the second slowest runner on the White Sox, which is Reese McGuire. So I have no clue the thought process in sending Yasmani Grandal home there. I can't believe that they're defending that.
Well, here's the thing, and like I just said, the situation, that's a reasonable opinion to have, right?
Yes.
You can't score any runs. You got to score a run some way. And if you're going to be tentative, the percentages, I would imagine, with the guys in this lineup, the way they're hitting right now, would tell you that the next guy up is probably not going to get a hit, right? And so I get the situation. But the situation also involves Yasmani Grandal.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, well, and right there, I think kind of is a really damning statement. Just, and I know that this might not be what you meant, but the guy behind him might not be confident that he could drive in Yasmani Grandal from third base. Like, I mean, does it feel like the confidence of this team is being affected right now?
I mean, listen, I tweeted out a quote from Rick Hahn at the end of it, and you get the vibe. People are saying it, right? People with this team are saying it, and the players are kind of maybe a little bit more hesitant to say it. But you've got Tony saying it from time to time, Rick saying it from time to time. Guys are pressing. The team can't score, so the guy's going to go up there to the plate and try and hit a 10-run homer, right? And that's not what you want to do. That's not how you have success hitting the baseball. But it keeps happening because the run total keeps staying low. And so I'm not trying to say that there's no confidence in the guy to drive in a run. Right. I'm just saying that you know what's going on. Tony La Russa knows what's going on. Joe McEwing knows what's going on, and they know that they can't score any runs right now. So here's an opportunity to score a run. They're going to try it, but it ends up in another blown opportunity because that's the way the cookie keeps crumbling for these White Sox right now. The explanation is not satisfying. I will be the first to admit that. The only thing we're getting pretty much is, well, these guys have hit before, so they're going to hit again. And listen, that's probably true, but right now it's not. They're not hitting right now. And so Tony alludes to the problems. He watches the games. He knows the problems. They're chasing pitches out of the strike zone on nights. They're really having a trouble finding the Goldilocks of this right now, right? Because it seems like some nights they're going up there with a patient approach and it's backfiring. You know what I mean? Guys are throwing strikes right down the middle and they're down in the count and it's backfiring. Other nights they're going up there with an aggressive approach and it's backfiring. They're swinging at balls out of the strike zone and they're knocking, little ground balls that they can't get a hit for. They have had very great difficulty finding what is just right. And that's what I mean by Goldilocks in it, right? Is like they've got there's no happy medium yet. And the happy medium is what's going to make this team go. They haven't found it yet. And so you're getting a lot of unhappy extremes. Tony tonight said that they weren't aggressive enough, right? That they were going up there and the guys, the Cubs pitchers are throwing strikes and then they're down in the count and they're already at a disadvantage because they're not swinging at the first strike. But all everybody's wanted them to do all year is to stop swinging at the first pitch. So they go up there and they do it and it backfires. It is just nothing is working for them right now. And the explanations are not satisfying. I'm sure they are a lot more satisfying on an individual level inside the clubhouse when the coaches are working with these guys. They've got an entire computer full of film. They've got, coaches who can go and watch these guys, watch their swing every little second of it, can show them everything that's going wrong. I'm sure they're working on it. Right now, it's not working.
We saw Johnny Cueto give this team a chance to win through 6. Came back out for the 7th, which I was cool with, and then get hit hard or ran out of energy and ran out of stamina there. What did Johnny say happened in the 7th, and what did Tony say what he saw in that 7th to not pull him a little earlier than he did?
I actually don't have a huge problem with it. I mean, I can see why some people would because the results were what the results were, but the results in the 2 previous innings were 1, 2, 3 innings. He had gotten 7 guys out in a row, and he was a guy who all night long, with the exception of those first couple innings, was getting guys quick. You know what I mean? Yep. It was like 1 pitch and there's an out. 3 pitches and there's 2 outs. And why would you not trust him to do that again after, a ball sneaks through or a ball gets hit hard to the outfield? I don't think there was any reason to stop trusting him given what he had done in the previous innings. Now, that being said, what he did with Johnny Cueto, whether it worked or not, whether it was wrong or right, doesn't matter because they scored 1 run. You know what I mean? Had he taken him out right there and nothing, and it was just all outs the rest of the game by White Sox pitchers to the Cubs batters, it doesn't matter. They lose 3-1. Like the offense right now is that poor that you're even when things do go wrong that are so minuscule or something that you would think that it would be the difference in the game, the changing point in the game. It's not the case with this team right now because they're not backing up their pitchers with hits and runs.
And my thought process too was, if this is a 3-run, 3-3 ball game, 3-2 ball game going into the 6th inning, they probably go to a relief pitcher, but it's 3-0 at that point. 3-1, right? So yeah, I mean they're still down. I didn't hate the decision to keep going with him.
I was fine with them.
He was good. He was pitching well.
Yeah.
Did you get to who else did you talk to? You talked to Tony. I'm guessing Cueto. Anybody else?
Briefly, we briefly talked to Jake Berger too.
Okay. What's his kind of ride been like? Because another home run for him tonight, a 3-for-4 game. He got sent down, and I think Herb and I were questioning that when that happened. But he comes up and continues to hit for the White Sox. How's he been feeling?
I mean, he's obviously feeling good. He's having success, and you saw a lot of it tonight. I think the only out he made in the game was a rocket in the 9th inning, right? If memory serves. So right to the left fielder there, maybe. I think it was the last out of the game. But he talked about how his time at Charlotte was beneficial, how he went down there and, he was able to work on stuff and get going again. And listen, I think we've seen enough of Jake Berger to know that he can provide you with a bat. And he played some good third base tonight too. The problem is that Yoan Moncada is on this team, and he's never going to get a full shot because they've got a guy there that they trust to be an all-star level player, an MVP level player, depending on who you listen to, and when the batting average is not, in the low 100s. But the good thing that they can lean on with Jake Berger is they can bring him off the bench, and he can be kind of that ideal pinch hitter, or that ideal spot starter. I don't think you're going to see him playing a lot of second base, but he can play third base, and Yoan Moncada continues to be dealing with some physical issues. And I think he said, Rick Hahn told us today that he's got a quad issue that he's dealing with right now. I mean, he might be back in the lineup tomorrow, or they might continue to find some more rest beneficial for him, especially with the hot bat that Jake Berger's swinging right now. But I don't think Jake Berger is ever going to jump Yoan Moncada on the depth chart, depending on where they are, where Yoan is physically.
Saw a video from Durham, North Carolina. Looked like Eloy Jimenez hit a single and then pulled up lame after that. Any update on Eloy Jimenez's status for the next couple days?
Sox say he left with some soreness in his leg, and that he's day to day. So I think we'll find out a lot more tomorrow morning. But man, that's not what you want to see. It was almost instantaneous, wasn't it? I mean, looking at the video of that at bat, it was very much he swung the bat, he got a hit, and something was bugging him right away. And I mean, as soon as he got down to first base, he came right back down the first base line into the dugout. So not good. Not good. I will hold off, informing you that it is any worse than not good until we have some more information. But I wouldn't. For that to be the first at bat in your first game of a rehab assignment, that is very much not what you want to see.
This might be a difficult question for you to ask. So if I put you in a bad spot, just say pass. That's fine. But Hector Gomez on May 11th, he tweeted, White Sox outfielder Eloy Jimenez will return in 2 weeks. Jimenez was expected to be out 6 to 8 weeks after suffering a torn hamstring on April 23rd. So he returned after 5 weeks of being off. Why the reason to bring him back so soon? I think maybe not trying to second guess them. They thought he was healthy, but we obviously see, first hit, he steps out of the box and immediately is injured. I think my question is, did they bring him back too soon? What was the vibe around the clubhouse and the idea of bringing him up and having him start a rehab assignment in Charlotte?
This is an easy question to answer. I don't think anything is different on the timeline. Rick Hahn was asked basically a version of this question earlier today. And he said, look, the thing was 6 to 8 weeks. Not only is that, pretty approximate based on, because everybody's going to heal differently and whatnot, but it's also not wrong. I think, you said 5 weeks from the injuries when he went on his rehab assignment. And so is expected to have a week-long rehab assignment, and you're looking at right around 6 weeks. So if he comes back to the team in 6 weeks, right? I mean, the rehab assignment is part of the recovery process, absolutely. You're going to see Lance Lynn spend almost 2 weeks, if you include the days between his starts. That obviously is part of the process of getting back. And for Eloy, it's the same thing, even if it's over a shorter window, because he's a position player. But I don't think this has anything to do with, rushing him or anything like that. We've been hearing for literally weeks here
Right.
how great he looks and how healthy he looks and how, you got guys being shocked that he looks as good as he does after having the surgery and after having the injury that he had. So, and that includes, a player in Jose Abreu saying that to us in Kansas City not too long ago. So, listen, the White Sox have always been very much, do what's best for the player, in tune with what the player is going through. A lot of people always have the opposite qualm, right? That why is it taking so long kind of thing. This one happened to go smoothly. It went well. It might not be going as well tonight as it was, several hours ago. But I don't think there's anything there. I think that's people looking for a complaint.
Before the game, we saw that Dallas Keuchel was designated for assignment, and Rick Hahn had grabbed the mic in front of you guys. And what do you have to say about the reasons that went into his decision to DFA Dallas Keuchel?
Yeah, I mean, I think the why is fairly obvious. We've all seen Dallas pitch over the last calendar year. We've all seen the numbers that Dallas has put up over the last calendar year. The when is kind of what's interesting, right? And I think basically you got to the end of their patience, pretty much. Rick even alluded to the fact that they were talking about this inevitability before those couple good starts that he made against the Red Sox and the Yankees, and then the same two teams clobbered him. So it is something that, the team has been thinking about for a while. They had the patience to try to get him back to where he was going. We went down all the reasons for that back in the spring when we talked to Dallas and everybody about Dallas, feeling healthy, feeling back on track for a normal buildup for him in terms of getting ready for a season. And the White Sox could look at the track record of a guy who's won a Cy Young Award, a guy who's won a World Series, and a guy who has had rough seasons throughout his career and managed to come back from them. It didn't happen. The bounce back never happened. And so they're like, all right, this is it. They can't keep throwing him out there. The main thing, though, I think, and Rick certainly said this as much, it's the fact that they've got some depth. Cueto's here and pitching well. Lance Lynn is getting healthy, and Rick even shouted out Davis Martin, as a guy who's a part of their starting depth, really alluding to the fact, or, saying it without saying it as directly as possible, that Davis Martin has the confidence of the team more than Dallas Keuchel did, given the way that Dallas was producing. So there are options. And at other times in this team's recent past, including earlier this very season, there weren't those options. And Dallas had to be an integral part of that rotation. They no longer needed him to do that. And so that's why it came today.
And kudos to Rick and Jerry Reinsdorf for swallowing all that money that they have to with Dallas Keuchel being DFA'd. So I didn't think they're going to do it, but I got to give them credit for doing that, seeing what we're seeing, and then letting Dallas go. And good luck to Dallas. Enjoy your money, and I hope you catch up with some other team.
Well, and like Rick said, you saw it, you watched, you guys saw him. I don't think we need to grave dance on this too much. The decision has been made, and we're moving on. It'll be interesting to see how they are moving on, and a lot of great quotes from Rick Hahn in Vinny's recap article on the White Sox DFAing Dallas Keuchel. That is live right now at allchgo.com, so make sure you're a member and reading Vinny's great work. Any other news, notes, quips from Rick Hahn that we need to hear about?
If I cast my mind back before this game started, let's see. There was some stuff. Luis Robert is feeling better, but he doesn't really expect him to be back. Certainly tomorrow. But he said, it looks like maybe that series in Tampa is more realistic than Toronto. But if things go well, he could be back for Toronto. That series with Toronto, that's going to be interesting. The White Sox have a couple of guys who are not going to be able to go to Canada given the COVID restrictions in that country. They are going to be placed on the restricted list, 2 guys, so we will find out exactly who those guys are who are not vaccinated. The White Sox do not have a 100% vaccination rate on the active roster, so they are going to have to make a couple of moves before they go and play the Blue Jays.
And just before so for my edification, their pretty much their whole organization, besides those two players, are vaccinated, right?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, as far as we know, I mean, Rick Hahn talked up. I mean, I asked him, listen, Rick has been very open about wanting everyone, whether you're a player, a front office member, a fan, or a citizen walking down the street in Bridgeport. He has been open about his opinion that, and it's not, for him and many of us, it's not an opinion, but a fact that, getting that vaccine is helpful to your community. And in this case, helpful to your teammates. Right. And so I asked him, is that disappointing that you have guys on this roster who haven't, followed through with that? His saying, I mean, he obviously kept it very diplomatic, but yeah, he basically pointed out the success that the organization has had, the model that the organization can be to other teams and other organizations across, other walks of life in kind of banding together and making sure that that's something you do to protect your coworkers and your family and your community as well. So yeah, I believe that, from everything I have heard and read from Rick, be it last year or this year, very much great buy-in from the White Sox as an organization, as a coaching staff, you know what I mean, and especially as a minor leagues. I believe it was reported over the offseason that they required their minor leaguers to get vaccinated as well. So, but with the major league players being members of the union, that is not a mandate. It is my understanding that the team can make, or any team can make. So you have some people that won't be able to go to Toronto.
That's Vinnie Duber. You can follow him on Twitter at Vinnie Duber. He's the CHGO White Sox beat writer for CHGO. Thanks, Vinnie.
Thank you, guys. Have a pleasant evening.
Absolutely. Steven already knocked you off our screen.
Talk to you tomorrow.
There he is. He's back. Booting you off.
He's back.
All right. We'll hopefully talk to you tomorrow. We'll catch up soon with Vinny. Interesting notes there about Luis Robert. Last game he played was May 22nd. So, if he doesn't end up playing, the 29th, and then they have a day off on the 30th. And if he doesn't end up playing until Tampa, it's like, why didn't we just put him on the 10-day IL at this point? Because on Monday, that'll be 8 days. So I don't know. And Matthew Graber asking, I thought the Sox required vaccination. So is it newer guys? My guess is Graveman and Pollock. I don't really want to go on the vaccinated or not vaccinated witch hunt. I think that might be
we'll see a
little wrong, but
Tuesday, probably.
Right. But as Vinny alluded to, the White Sox this offseason required everyone in their organization that they could to get vaccinated. So that means coaching staff, front office, and minor leaguers. I think they did have a couple people released due to the not getting vaccinated. But the major league players have no requirements at all. So what we know is that 24 of the 26 White Sox players are vaccinated. When they go to Toronto this week, 2 of them will not be able to go with the team.
See, the thing is, I don't necessarily care if those 2 players are not vaccinated because it's their choice. I care because, as Vinny said, we're a community. It's better if you are. Fred says what my point is. Right. Imagine having to play Toronto in the playoffs and not having 2 regulars.
No, we're not.
Like, we're gonna, if the White Sox recover, if they do what they're supposed to do, and imagine you're having a series with the Toronto Blue Jays like you had in 1993, and they still have the rules that they have over there in Canada. That's going to be a big-time thing for that team to miss 2 players. And I have a guess, and I'll see if I'm right on Tuesday of those 2 players. So that's the only way I don't like.
I don't know about guessing. We were going to try to do, what was it called? Properly witch hunting or something like that. Actually safely witch hunting players that might have been not vaccinated. It seems like a stupid bit. But once it got Dan Payton saying getting political now, like, no, we're not. It's like if they were allergic to the artificial turf and they would not be able to play.
Not political at all.
They are not able to play. It's like if they be out of the game for three games right here.
Vaccines are not political. People made it such, but we're not being political here at all.
The White Sox will not have 2 players, period. That's just a fucking fact.
Yeah.
If you enjoy CHGO, one way to help us continue to grow is to download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. Not only are you going to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000, but if you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all the web content, and you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. If you have any questions, you can email pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we will help you you out. And in case you missed it, online sign-up is available in Illinois. Download the PointsBet app right now and register your account from start to finish, all from your phone. You'll be signing up with the fastest sportsbook easier than ever, so you can start living your bet life in seconds. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And Vinnie Duber just joined us. He is the CHGO White Sox beat writer. If you want to help support CHGO, go to allchgo.com and become a member today. Members get premium access to written content written by Vinnie Duber. CHGO Cubs have a beat writer, Ryan Herrera. He does a fantastic job. We have Jared Willis as well on staff. We have 3 fantastic baseball beat writers keeping you up to date on what's happening in the Chicago baseball world. We also have beat writers for the Bulls, the Blackhawks, the Sky, the soccer, the Red Stars, the Fire, all those teams. So you can get premium written content at all CHGO when you become a member. Members get a free shirt when you sign up, and you also get access into our CHGO Lounge. It's a members Discord only. We get to chat with all of us CHGO personalities, and you're going to get the podcasts, the live shows, the post-game shows free every day on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all of your important podcasting services. All right. Herb, where do we go from here? We could talk about tomorrow. We could talk about Dallas Keuchel. We could talk about their stinky bats. We can.
Oh yeah, let's just let's finish off. Our 60 wins, 60 losses, and 42 games.
So the saying from Hawk Harrelson: you win 60, you lose 60. It's the other 42 that count. Right now, we'll update you on where the Sox are. They have 14 wins of those 60. They have 15 losses of those 60, and they have 16 other of the 42. And in those other, they're 8-8. Herb's playing a video. Look at you
me again.
So right now, Sox not in a healthy state, friends.
No, Illinois is a healthy state. Losses. It's too many S's there.
Yes, I changed that.
Losses. There's so many losses they had to add an extra S. But yes, we're really bad. We're really terrible right now.
And we can't spell.
And then old man Herb has his phone go off in the middle. I was looking at YouTube.
You was looking at a YouTube? My daughter called me.
Yeah, I'm so old. Yeah. I don't know what that was. But yes, the White Sox
are Herbie LaRussa.
A really mediocre team. And it's incumbent on them to win tomorrow versus the Cubs. Incumbent. Because, as Sean said, hell's coming to breakfast, or the White Sox are going to hell up there in Toronto with Kevin Gausman pitching. And then I think it was Hyun-Jin Ryu pitching on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And then Alek Manoah, who Sean had just told you how great he is. They have great pitchers, and 2 of them are right-handed, so we're not scoring runs in that game. So we got to get the Hyun-Jin Ryu, who's also pretty damn good in his own right. But he's a lefty, so maybe we can get a victory in Toronto on that Wednesday. Then we go to Tampa. They were tough here. We beat them in the series. But Tampa, every year you see them, and they're going to play tough. This is not easy, friends. We're going through the gauntlet. This is why losses to the Cubs, who are no damn good.
This is why losses to the Royals
are no damn good.
This is why losses to the Tigers, who are no damn good, hurt.
Yes. All of them, you could put together 91 wins, and most of them could be versus bums. Bum slay all you want. The White Sox not even doing that.
No.
Now you got to play real teams. And yes, I was worried about the White Sox going to New York and getting any games. And they came out of there with 2 out of 3. Bring that same spirit up to Toronto and Tampa, please. But split the series. Split the 6 games, please.
And here we go. Let's look at the probable pitchers for tomorrow, Herb. Who's on the bump? Dylan Cease versus Marcus Stroman. Another right-handed pitcher. Keegan Thompson just shoved against you, and here comes a guy that you really like in Marcus Stroman. Past, I think, 3 years, 600-plus innings, an ERA below 350. He's been fantastic over the past couple of years. He's been difficult. He's had a difficult year this year, but hey, it's great to get right against the White Sox who can't hit right-handed pitching still.
Yeah, and he doesn't like La Russa. Called him a racist as much. He wouldn't play for him ever. I don't know if necessarily Tony's a racist. I wouldn't call him that myself, I didn't have any reaction with him. I have not had any interaction with him. And Juan Hernandez, a $5 super chat. Boo, 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 boo.
When will LaRussa lose his job? Never. We're stuck with him, baby, until he retires.
Exactly.
Pew, 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 pew.
He'll only lose his job when he's tired of this. He's not getting fired by Rick Hahn. Jerry's not going to fire him again as he did in '86 or allowed Hawk Harrelson to do it. So he's here forever. He's here until he wants to leave.
If Hawk wasn't the GM, Tony La Russa would have coached this team from 1979 to 2022.
I don't doubt it.
That guy would have had a lifetime job.
I don't know how many championships he would have gotten that year.
Doesn't matter. He's the owner's best friend.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sad, Juan, and I don't know necessarily how much of this is on Tony, but Tony has been fucking up a lot, and his staff has been too.
That's the thing. It's like it's not only just Tony, because we've always said managers don't matter.
They don't matter that much. But this man has changed my mind on that shit.
It's the staff, 22 and 23, and Vinny's saying it right there. Vinny's talking about, and I don't want to say anything. This is what I'm taking away from what Vinny's telling me. All right. So this is my take on what Vinny's telling us. The fact that he's saying, we got to send him there. We have no choice but to send our slowest runner from second base because we can't hit. Holy shit.
Yeah.
You've been doing work with this team. This team hasn't been hitting since April.
Yes.
And you've been working with them? What is it? What have they shown? What work, what progression, what changes at the plate have actually shown up for the White Sox? It's the same crap over and over again. Let's look at Keegan Thompson's pitch map today. Let's see where all the balls that were put in play against Keegan Thompson were today. Let's look. Oh, Herb, look at that huge blob out of the zone.
Mm-hmm.
Low and away, funny. The White Sox aren't dividing up the strike zone in any certain way. They're not looking for certain pitches to hit. They're not looking for fastballs only. It just feels like the only people that can hit are the guys that have nothing on their mind, like Jake Berger and Adam Engel. Adam Engel wouldn't be in this lineup if Luis Robert was hurt. Here you go. He's having a great game. Jake Robert wouldn't even be on this team if Yohan Moncada wasn't hurt. He'd be down in Charlotte right now. There you go. The guys that have nothing to prove are absolutely coming out and proving everything to you for this team. And the guys with everything to prove. Yasmani Grandal, the biggest contract in White Sox free agent history for a position player, nothing this year. Jose Abreu, reigning MVP, hasn't done anything. Luis Robert, hurt. Eloy, hurt. Yohan Moncada, hurt. AJ Pollock, done nothing. It's brutal.
And the run was scored on a hanging curveball that Jake Berger punished.
He was sitting fastball. He got a curveball. It was a curveball that was up in the zone, and he destroyed it. No White Sox hitters doing that. And Mookie Betts has 11 home runs in May. The White Sox have 21.
And there was a lot of that. There was not that fat or juicy pitch to every pitcher or a batter, but there was a lot of balls that weren't great. That's why I'm saying Keegan Thompson, the results look nice, look real nice. But the White Sox didn't do anything with them. They put 24 balls into play today.
Yeah.
And nothing. Did really nothing. And then Jake Berger with that single. And I'm still not over that.
15 balls in play, only 5 hard hits.
I'm not over that. Jake Berger hits the ball to left field. To left field, right? Was it left or right field?
Which one was this?
Right field. The one with Yasmani got thrown out of home.
I always thought it was center.
Okay. He hits the ball at outfield.
No, it was right field because Ortega throws him out. So he hits it. He shoots it the other way in between second base and first base because I think Pollock was going. Yeah. So there was a hole on the second base side. Ortega comes up throwing, and when the throw comes home, Grandal's not even on the screen.
Not close. We knew. When I
and you know who's up to bat
too? I heard that the ninth hitter, Adam Engel, who had 2 hits that game.
Right.
Yeah. So when I heard Len Casper say, "Oh, they're sending him," I was like, why? I know he's slow. I can beat him in a race. It's just piss poor all around.
Well, and I got
the whole team.
We talked about this too.
Except for starting pitchers, they're doing well.
Starting pitchers been pretty well. Bullpen's been fine for most part. They've had some ups, they've had some downs, but for the most part, I mean, I really can't put too much blame on them. But we've talked about this stat. They've now tied the Nationals for outs at home base with 9. But they are also the worst team in the league 16 times they have had a player on second when a single is hit and the runner scores. That is the lowest in the major leagues. So they have been thrown out 9 times at the plate. I don't know if all of those are from second to home, but when they get people on second, they're not bringing them home. They're not, I mean, like they're worse than the Tigers. They're worse than the Pirates. They're just worst at small ball. They're not able to just get a hit when it counts. It's brutal. It's soft contact and hard misses, like Mr. C says. Basically what it says. Yaz from Wayne says Yaz took a ball he launched and struck out on a ball outside. Can't win like that. You were upset with his at-bats versus Af Ross. He took 2 fastballs right down the middle. I don't know.
Like it was,
I don't know.
It was, I think, a 1-0 count, ball literally right down the middle, fastball 91. Took it. Same exact pitch, the next pitch. Took it and eventually strikes out at a curveball, which was wicked, in the zone. So, like, I don't know what the approach was. What are you looking for other than dead red on 1-0? And he throws that to you. You just look at it. You take it. Like, you're in a bad way, man. He's in a really bad way. Maybe a couple days off for him will get him right, too. I would expect, anyways, a day game after night game that Reese McGuire will be catching tomorrow anyways.
Yes.
So we'll probably
with a day off on Monday, too.
So
got to
we'll
really
probably
get him
see
rested
him.
up.
Yasmani needs a day, week, month, year off. He's been terrible.
Give Harrison
He
the year
walked
off,
twice
too.
today, so that's why we like him. So you continue to do that, fine. But you got to put a couple hits in there and a couple over the wall because they didn't pay you all that money just to walk or just to strike out. You need to hit a home run. If you're going to do the 3 true outcomes, add a home run in there every once in a while.
All right. What other
Nothing.
graphics we got? We got a couple. So we got the starting pitcher graphic today. 6 2/3 for Cueto, 5 earned runs, 9 hits allowed, 3 walks, 2 Ks. He had a quality start after 6 innings, and then Tony left him in. I really can't blame him. If they were scoring runs, he probably wouldn't have came out for the 7th. I think it would have been a completely different game if the game was closer. It just wasn't, so it doesn't matter. Keegan Thompson, 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 5 hits allowed, 4 walks. 1 walk, 4 walks would be great. 1 walk, 4 Ks. That's the starting pitcher line for today. It's also National Burger Day. So happy National Burger Day. We ordered pizza, but National Burger Day. Jake Burger celebrated it by hitting a home run and going 3 for 4.
It's great. He looked great. He's been looking good since he came back from AAA, and hopefully did learn something down in his short stint in AAA, and looks like he's a better player for it. And when next time it comes to somebody getting sent down, that has to be Gavin Sheets. I'm not hoping for this, but the man, is on the Mendoza line right now with 200. He's not getting the job done. The only reason he didn't get sent down that first time is because he's a left-hander. That's it. That's all. Mm-hmm. This time, he has to be sent down and play Jake Burger in right field. I'm sure he won't be any worse than what Gavin Sheets is when he's out there.
Can't be worse than Andrew Vaughn out there either. Andrew Vaughn has like a -6 outs above average, and I think if you just and like I don't even think he qualifies for it. Like you actually literally have to go out and put a minimum on there of like 25 attempts or something like his -6 outs above average, and it's already like one of the 60th worst outfield performances by any outfielder ever. I mean, like they're not getting good right field defense right now. It literally does not matter who you put out in right field right now. You can put Jake Burger out there because he's the only one that's hitting in the damn lineup. Johnny Cueto was fine. They were just jumping on him first pitch. He ended up getting kind of out it, changing up a little bit of the speeds. As long as he's healthy, I'm fine with Johnny Cueto being our 5th starter. Nothing about this game changed my mind on that, Herb.
Look at all these teams. We keep on going through what they do to our pitchers. You saw Boston have a plan for Dylan Cease. They had a plan for Lucas Giolito. Lucas Giolito worked his way into a good start. Today, the Cubs had a plan for Johnny Cueto, and David Ross, the manager, spoke to it with A.J. Brzezinski and Lynn Casper. It's like, yes, Johnny's going to be in the zone for the most part. Told him to pick out a spot and go to work. They had a plan. Why don't every other team have an offensive plan versus our good pitchers, and we seemingly don't have a plan versus other people's pitchers? It doesn't make sense. Like, every time you see somebody attacking our guys, hitting first pitch mistakes, going after our home run, going after our pitchers with the fastball elevated. They know what's coming. They do it. They ambush our guys and have success offensively in that regard. It seems like we don't have that same thing.
They can't do it to even bad pitchers.
Yeah.
Brady Singer ate this fucking team up.
Yeah.
8 Ks.
Daniel Lynch
ate this team up. Those are guys in your division that you see every year. Of course Keegan Thompson's going to eat you up. Of course Kevin Gausman's going to eat you up on Tuesday. Of course Alek Manoah is going to eat you up on Thursday. It's the same shit. It's the same problems that happened in 2021. And we go out and get A.J. Pollock, who can't throw a runner out from left field.
And he's going to be our right fielder when everything's right. Right fielder is supposed to have the strongest arm in the outfield. So we got a right fielder who can't throw.
What did Rick Hahn say about the bats? This is from Vinnie Duber. Vinnie Duber was talking to Rick Hahn before the day, talked about him with the stinky bats on this team. And Rick Hahn said, we've seen this group for a while now. We know the type of at-bats they're capable of putting together. We've seen games in the last week where we've had a more patient approach and spit on balls out of the zone, taking our walks.
Is it Danny Parkins?
As a result, damage followed. Yeah, he's going to get the Danny Parkins treatment now. That's more of who we are. It's understandable when we, for what variety of reasons, the spring, the weird start, guys pressing a little bit when they look up there and see the numbers a little bit below than what they're accustomed to seeing. The guys on a whole taking a step back and stringing together the good at-bats they're capable of doing will rectify any offensive shortcomings we've had, and the numbers will follow. Occasionally, you just need to tip your hat to the pitcher sometimes, but we've known this offense is capable of more, and we've seen it over the last few seasons. I read that, Herb, and I just think it's a bunch of crap. I think it's a bunch of crap because do you know what? Everybody else has to deal with the weird spring. Everybody else has to deal with the weird
just
start.
The White Sox.
Everybody else has to deal with a cold April. Everybody else has to deal with injuries. You still have Jose Abreu, Yasmani Grandal, Tim Anderson. Those three players have been available for you for the fucking 45 games that you've played this year. They have not done enough. There are your top paid players. The only one out of those three that have actually done anything is Tim Anderson. Jose Abreu needs to step up. Yasmani Grandal needs to step up. Yohan Moncada needs to step up. Luis Robert needs to step up. Everybody needs to step up. And it's again, with pressing. Like, I don't understand how Tony La Russa, who has been in baseball since 1970, whatever, cannot help a team press. Why are we unable to have any fun? Why are we unable to unwind, relax at all? Press. If we've known they've been pressing since the end of April, why haven't we helped the pressing? We're helping them apparently with their at-bats, but that's not showing up on the field. Could we make them have a little bit of fun? Like, sucks. It's crap. It's word salad.
Yeah, I think that
occasionally you need to tip your hat to the pitchers.
You usually would have a person, maybe a manager could take the stress off of the players. Hey, guys, pressing too hard. And we always say here, process over results. They're looking for the results before they do the process. Jose Abreu staying with the same process because he knows the hard hit balls eventually will fall in and his numbers will look the same. But all the rest of those guys, every single one of the rest of those guys except for Tim, needs to do what got them there. So continue doing the process. And yes, you're not seeing the results, but pressing's not going to get you anywhere. Gripping the bat tighter is not going to get you anywhere. You got to realize who you are. Look yourself in the mirror. Say, yes, I have struggled, but damn it, tomorrow I ain't struggling. Tomorrow I'm going out and getting 4 for 4. You got to talk yourself. You got to fake it until you make it. Something has to happen. And the manager's supposed to be the leader, supposed to get you in the right mindset, put you in the best position to win. He hasn't done it this year, and sometimes he's actively hurting your team, like putting Josh Harrison batting second or Luis Garcia batting second or third. So if he's not going to help, I need the general manager. Stop telling me this garbage. Stop telling me that they'll be fine eventually. Say they sucked. Maybe they need to hear that. Maybe their general manager going off of them in the media or in person. Just talk to them in person and say, you guys have been sucking. This is my team I put together. You will not mess me up. My thing is on the line here. And say something. I got to hear from Rick Hahn instead of hearing from intermediaries about how badly Tony has done. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear you say it and how badly this player's done. I want to hear you say it. Some truth.
I told you today, I was talking to Mark Grody, and we're talking about the White Sox and how they're kind of like at the airport right now, and they're in line at the tarmac, right? They're in line at O'Hare to leave, to take off, right? And they're like 7th in line. And over the intercom, Ladies, here's your captain. It's Rick Hahn speaking. Hope you're going to enjoy the ride today. We're going to just keep after this. We're going to keep pressing. We're going to put our nose down to the grindstone and really just try to work this one out. We have guys that have proven over the past 3 years that they can produce at a major league level, and that's what we expect over the next coming days. This is a team that sticks together, and we can really enjoy the ride. So stick with us here on the 2022 White Sox, and we will have a safe flight in 4 months. This team sucks. Marcus Stroman pitches tomorrow. He's a right-hand pitcher. Sox lose 6-0.
I mean, I can't argue. I mean, well, actually, I can. Dylan Cease's going to shove, so Sox are going to lose 1-0.
That'll do it for the White Sox post-game show. The CHGO White Sox post-game show. That's Herb Lawrence. He's the CHGO White Sox community leader. You can follow him on Twitter at Ecknerwall23. We had Vinnie Duber, the CHGO White Sox beat writer, join us from Guaranteed Rate Field. You can follow him on Twitter at Vinnie Duber. I'm Sean Anderson, the host of CHGO White Sox pre- and post-game show. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. You can follow the show on Twitter at CHGO_White Sox. Want to give a shout out to the winners, Luke Stuckmeyer and Cody Delmendo, who got Studio W tonight as the Cubs win 5-1. Sox fall to 22-23 on the year. I want to give a shout out to Stephen Nicholas for producing us, Joey Spathis for helping us out on the CHGO pregame show as well. We will talk to you tomorrow, 12:30, for the Crosstown Showdown pregame with Luke Stuckmeyer, Cody Delmendo, Sean Anderson, and Herb Lawrence, and we'll join you for the postgame as well on Sunday. For Herb Lawrence, I'm Sean Anderson. We'll talk to you tomorrow. The Sox exist.